Check now the best anti-stress solution for your everyday life. Click the link in the description for your anti-stress solution.
Polish PM flown to Warsaw for further checks after car crash. Polish Prime Minister Beata Szydło suffered bruising in a car crash on Friday and was being flown from southern Poland to a Warsaw hospital for what her spokesman described as routine checks. TV footage showed her car had hit a tree, and a police spokesman said her driver had broken a leg and his pelvis. The incident prompted security concerns after recent car crashes involving the president and defense minister, but a government source said nothing pointed to any kind of attack. Szydło, 53, was first taken to hospital in the southern town of Warsaw, where the crash happened. The government spokesman said on Twitter, "The PM's condition is good. PM will undergo additional routine checks in hospital in Warsaw." Television pictures showed a yellow helicopter taking off from Warsaw, and public TV said she was on board. A police spokesman in Warsaw, Szydło's birthplace, said the accident happened on Friday evening when she was in a convoy of cars overtaking a private Fiat Seicento. Suddenly the Seicento turned left, crashing into the Prime Minister's car, the spokesman told a televised news conference. Police were investigating under the supervision of a prosecutor. TV footage showed the Prime Minister's car had come to a stop after hitting a tree as the driver apparently swerved to try to avoid the other vehicle. There was serious damage to the front of Szydło's Audi A8 vehicle. Defense Minister Antoni Macierewicz was involved in a similar accident last month and President Andrzej Duda had a car crash last year. Both escaped injury. The latest incident provoked criticism of the security arrangements surrounding the Prime Minister. The Government Protection Bureau is expected to predict such situations, said Roman Polko, former head of Polish Special Forces. "This was a very serious accident. I'm very much concerned that it is being played down." Julia Pietra of opposition party Civic Platform told broadcaster TVP Info, "It's frightening to live in a country where, within 11 months, the president, dollar rises on hopes for Trump tax reform." The US dollar hovered near its highest level against a basket of major rivals in 11 days on Friday after comments from US President Donald Trump did little to shake optimism that his administration would reform tax policy soon. At a joint news conference with Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, Trump avoided repeating harsh campaign rhetoric that accused Japan of taking advantage of US security aid and stealing American jobs. Trump did not reiterate his recent accusation that Japan was one of several countries devaluing their currencies to the disadvantage of the United States, but said in reference to currency devaluations that countries would be at a level playing field soon. Despite briefly turning negative during the news conference, the dollar index was last up about 0.2% at 100.800. DXY, roughly unchanged from where it was before the conference and near an 11-day high of 101.010 struck in morning U.S. trading. The index measures the greenback against a basket of 6 major currencies. Analysts said Trump's promise on Thursday of a phenomenal tax reform plan over the next 2 or 3 weeks continued to support the dollar against most of its major rivals. The underlying bigger story in the last 24 hours is that Trump has put the reflation trade back on the front foot by talking about a tremendous tax program, said Richard Franulovich, a senior currency strategist at Westpac Banking Corp in New York. The dollar briefly fell to a session low of 112.87 yen during the Trump-Abe news conference. The dollar index was still set to post its best weekly percentage gain since mid-December, of 0.9%. Analysts said an announcement that Federal Reserve Governor Daniel Tarullo would resign from the U.S. Central Bank opened the door for Trump to choose a more hawkish replacement, and may have been positive for the dollar on the margin. The prospect of one less stop on the committee could strengthen the argument for the Fed to raise rates multiple times this year, said Joe Manimbo, senior market analyst with Western Union Business Solutions in Washington. The euro-year equals was last down 0.2% against the dollar at $1.0631, near a more than 3-week low of $1.0608 touched before the Trump-Abe news conference. The dollar was up about 0.2% against the yen at 113.40 yen JPY equals, not far from a 9-day high of 1. Says it will greet Tesla workers with open arms. The United Automobile Workers Union on Friday said it had been approached by workers at Tesla Incorporated's TSLA.O, Fremont, California assembly plant, and it rejected Tesla chief executive Elon Musk's charge that a worker who publicly criticized the company was on the payroll. The worker, Jose Moran, is not and has not been paid by the union said, responding to comments Musk made to the website Gizmodo. We can confirm that Mr. Moran and others at Tesla have approached the and we welcome them with open arms. The Fremont factory was once a represented operation, owned by General Motors Co., GM.N, but it became a non-union shop when Tesla took over in 2010. Musk told Gizmodo on Thursday, "Our understanding is that this guy was paid by the to join Tesla and agitate for a union. He doesn't really work for us, he works for the A representative from Iran said on Friday he was at work at Tesla. The exchange between Musk and the comes as Tesla is planning to idle the Fremont factory for a week this month to prepare for production of the high-volume Model 3 sedan. Tesla already builds its Model S sedans and Model X sport utility vehicles at the plant. Musk is pushing to launch production of the Model 3 by July. He has projected its output will reach 500,000 vehicles a year, roughly 5 times the production of vehicles at the Fremont plant last year. On Friday, a video of Moran was posted to the Fair Future at Tesla Facebook page. It shows him saying that employees at the Fremont plant spend more time at work than at home and that workers do not feel they can report health and safety issues. Tesla workers are fed up, he said. A Tesla spokesman could not be immediately reached for comment. In a blog post earlier this week, Moran wrote that Tesla workers are pushed to work mandatory overtime and are paid less than the average for the auto industry. The post charged that preventable injuries are common at the plant and that many of us have been talking about unionizing. He added that Tesla managers have required workers to sign confidentiality agreements agreeing not to speak out about wages or working conditions. Musk, in comments reported by Gizmodo, said there is sometimes mandatory overtime, but it is dropping. He also said Tesla's starting wages are higher than a starting pay and added that employees also receive stock grants, according to Gizmodo. Confidentiality. Peru asks world to help find fugitive ex-president Delito. Peru asked for international help in finding former President Alejandro Delito, wanted in connection with a far-reaching bribery probe, saying on Friday that he was likely now in San Francisco and may try to flee to Israel. The government of Pedro Pablo Kuczynski, who served as Prime Minister and Finance Minister during Toledo's 2001-06 term, said it was asking authorities in the United States and Israel to help find and return him to Peru. A judge on Thursday ruled that Delito, who denies any wrongdoing, must be jailed for up to 18 months while influence peddling and money laundering charges are prepared against him. Prosecutors allege that Delito, 70, took $20 million in bribes from Brazil's Odebrecht's Odebrecht, a family-owned construction conglomerate at the center of Latin America's biggest region-wide graft scandal. The downfall of Delito, once a pro-democracy hero and anti-corruption crusader to many in Peru, has raised questions about who might be next as Odebrecht provides testimony on high-ranking officials it bribed from Argentina to Panama. Interpol issued a red alert notice to 190 member countries to search for and capture Delito, Kuczynski's cabinet said on Friday. The Interior Ministry has offered 100,000 sols, $30,000, for information leading to his capture. Anyone in the world who can help us find him can claim the reward, Interior Minister Carlos Basombril said. Peru doesn't deserve to see another president flee justice. Toledo rose to power denouncing widespread corruption in the government of his predecessor, Alberto Fujimori, who fled to Japan amid a far-reaching graft inquiry in 2000. Fujimori is now serving a 25-year sentence in Peru for corruption and human rights abuses during his decade-long authoritarian rule. Toledo has not been charged with or convicted of any crimes. He was last known to be in France a week ago. Toledo's lawyer, Gerardo Benitez, denied that Toledo was on the run and told Reuters he was waiting for the results of an appeal. Benitez declined to say where Toledo was, citing a confidentiality agreement with his client. After the judge's decision, Benitez said he would recommend Toledo not return to Peru to face a justice system he called vindictive. He said he believes Toledo should be investigated but thought preventive detention was excessive, calling it a hallmark of autocratic regimes. Justice Minister Marisol Perez Tello said Toledo would be guaranteed a fair trial. "We're all very ashamed of what this looks like internationally. All we're asking is that he come back to explain what happened," Perez Tello said. Toledo has earned postgraduate economics degrees from Stanford University, near San Francisco, and has lectured there. Toledo's wife has Israeli citizenship and his longtime friend, Peruvian-Israeli businessman Yosef Maimon, is believed to live there. Peru does not have an extradition treaty with Israel but does have one with the United States. The U.S. and Israeli embassies in Lima did not immediately respond to requests for comment. Prosecutors, citing testimony from an Odebrecht executive, alleged Toledo made a pact with the company to help it win 2 lucrative highway contracts in exchange for bribes he asked to be deposited in the accounts of offshore companies controlled by Maimon. Authorities have traced some $10 million from Odebrecht to Maimon's companies so far. Maimon did not respond to requests for comment. Toledo made 2 unsuccessful bids for a second president.
On our YouTube channel, please click the subscribe button. If you like to receive an alert every time a new upload is made, hit the bell. Give us a like to the video or dislike if you agree or not to the news. Be proactive. Is your life and the news will serve your day. Finally, leave us your opinion in the comment section on what you think about the subject. Thank you and stay tuned to Breaking News 24.